Normally, an individual must have both a job offer and approved labor certification before he or she can file for an employment-based second preference (EB2) petition. However, an individual can bypass those two requirements and file for an EB2 if the individual qualifies for a National Interest Waiver (NIW). Essentially, the NIW candidate must show that the candidate will provide a benefit so great to the U.S. that the candidate should be allowed to bypass the labor certification process. Obviously, an individual with highly renowned unique skills or talents makes an ideal NIW candidate. Some examples would be Ph.D. students with specialized theses, or renowned scholars. Additionally, individuals working for private companies may qualify if their work provides a substantial national benefit, and certain physicians also qualify for NIW provided they meet the statutory requirements. When an individual, or a petitioning employer, files a National Interest Waiver, the UCS must consider the following factors when deciding to grant or deny a waiver request. Whether the candidate seeks work in an area of substantial intrinsic merit to the U.S. Whether the benefit from the candidate's proposed activity will be national in scope, and whether the national interest would be adversely affected if a labor certification were required for the alien applicant. The key question to ask is, does the individual benefit the national interest to a substantially higher degree than an available U.S. worker with the same minimum qualifications? The individual must illustrate that the individual's national benefit is greater than the national interest provided by the labor certification process. Note that this is a very high ceiling, as the courts have stated that it is insufficient for an individual to show that the individual has an important role in a project, or that the worker can ameliorate a labor shortage. In those particular cases, the UCS denied the NIW requests because the individual did not provide a benefit substantially higher than that of a comparable U.S. worker. Therefore, in those cases, the individuals could not allowed to bypass the labor certification process. Here is an example of an individual who would probably qualify for a NIW. Mr. F is a nationally renowned organic agriculturist. He has over 10 years of experience, and is recognized as one of the foremost experts on large-scale, sustainable organic crops. Mr. F's current project will benefit the U.S. because it will allow farmers all over the U.S. to economically grow organic crops year-round without damaging the surrounding environment. The general U.S. public benefits because healthy, pesticide-free food will now be affordable to everybody. However, Mr. F's current status will expire soon, and he may have to leave the U.S. because it is unlikely they can renew his status in time. Mr. F's field is very specialized, and the handful of agriculturists engaged in comparable research are scattered across the nation. Furthermore, Mr. F is working with live crops that must be tended to daily under very strict conditions that Mr. F devised. In the event that a replacement is found for Mr. F, it is even more unlikely that he or she can arrive in time and replicate the same conditions and continue Mr. F's research. Therefore, Mr. F makes an ideal NIW candidate, because 1. His specialized area of scale organic crops intrinsically benefits the U.S. 2. His large-scale organic research is meant to benefit the entire U.S., and 3. If Mr. F is subjected to the labor certification process, the U.S. would be adversely affected because the U.S. would lose the benefits of Mr. F's research since no one else can continue it. Filing procedures. The National Interest Waiver or NIW does not require either a labor certification or even an employer to apply for a green card. An individual can file for his or her own National Interest Waiver. Since this waiver category requires no job offer, a U.S. employer can simultaneously file a National Interest Waiver on behalf of an individual. Typically, a candidate should include the following petitions and documents in his or her NIW petition. Form I-140. Evidence the individual meets the NIW requirements, including whether the individual is an advanced degree professional or an alien of exceptional ability. Letters of recommendation, preferably from other renowned or authoritative figures in the individual's specialized field. The UCIS has stated that letters from independent experts or figures are generally preferred over letters from people that have worked with the individual. If an individual believes he or she qualifies for a NIW, he or she should contact an immigration attorney for additional information and requirements.
Very good afternoon, Mr. Shah. Thanks for a very good show.
Thank you for the show and all the information that you're providing.
Hi, Shah. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mr. Shah. Thanks for doing this program.
Hi, Shah. Thank you.
Hi, Shah. Thanks for picking up my call.
Hi, Shah. My name is Kunal. Let me thank you for this wonderful show. It's been a tremendous help, actually.
Mr. Shah, thanks for sharing the information.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to congratulate. It's a wonderful show, and lots of people are getting benefited in different areas like immigration and settlement and all.
Yeah, good afternoon. So, first of all, thank you very much for providing all this useful information. Really appreciate.
I've been listening to your shows. I know I've been listening to your shows only on Mondays, but I from now on I'll try to make it a point, listen to it, the other days also. Thank you for doing such a great show.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. It's a wonderful show.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Shah. Appreciate your talk show and daily listener about this, and it's very informative.
Yeah, hi, Shah. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi, Rajesh. Hi, thanks for taking my call, and first of all, thank you very much for your service to the community. So, thanks for briefing up the current situation. Unfortunately, it's affecting but the good people as well, whose aspiration is this country. Thanks, Mr. Shah. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome, sir.
Hi, this is Ravi. Thanks for taking my call, Shah.
Hello, is this Mr. Shah?
Yeah, this is Shah. You're live on air.
Yes. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.